All right, we are live here on Rye Bread and Mustard, down on the docks on the other side of the tracks. 5-star dive bar podcast, and the WBC has wrapped up. That's right, all the players are going back to their respected teams. The United States falls short to Venezuela. Eugenio Suarez, former Mariner, beloved Mariner, maybe the Mariner that you just are so upset that he's not back with the Mariners, is a big hero in this game, showing you how clutch he can be. We got feelings about that. We got Big Vlad here on the show. We're going to talk about the WBC championship game, our overall takeaways from this. We'll see if Hanno joins us here. He says he's watching hockey. I think he's a little pissed off about the game. I would be too. Why didn't we see Cal Raleigh in there? We're going to talk about all that and all of our feelings right after this. All right, before we dive deep into our feelings here, a little house cleaning. If you go to In the Clutch Apparel, that's intheclutchapparel.com. Put in the promo code Rye Bread and Mustard, all one word, all lowercase, no caps, no space bars needed. Save yourself on MLB, NHL, WNBA, WE, no, not WWE. Just listen, all the sporting events. I don't have my notes in front of me here today. My computer is flying around somewhere here in the lower 48 on an Alaska Airlines flight somewhere. So anyways, excuse me. Also, at simply.cora, that's at simply.cora. Get your street cred for rocking the rye bread. And if you are going to opening weekend or the opening week like we are with the Yankees up there playing in Seattle, make sure, even if the roof is closed or it's open, Tacos and Tequila's bar and kitchen are always open. Make them your pre and post. They are honestly the closest bar coming from the north going south into T-Mobile Park, right there on Occidental, right outside the left field gate, right across from WAMU Theater and Lumen. All right, so let's get into this. The WBC is over. I see, Vlad, you're not wearing your Judge jersey tonight.
Oh, no. No reason.
Well, you were telling me before you go on, it kind of sucks to have that jersey now because we lost. And my argument is, I think an Aaron Judge jersey is cool anywhere.
Well, it would have been a forever jersey that for me to wear to road games and stuff. Now it's kind of more attached to a loss. I mean, it's still cool, all those things, but like if they won, it would have been kind of like you can't hate on me in your home ballpark because I'm rocking a Aaron Judge World Baseball Classic jersey. Now you could just hate on me both ways.
Well, I think maybe not to wear like right now or maybe to the start of the season, I'd go right back to the pinstripes. I mean, if I had a Cal Raleigh jersey, I'd go right back to just the regular big dumper T-shirt I own. But, you know, when it comes to Memorial Day, 4th of July, maybe a 9/11 games, Labor Day, any of those American or national holiday days, you can rip it out, and it's a fashionable shirt. And it's Aaron Judge. It's like when I go with a Griffey jersey or a Marshawn Lynch jersey anywhere, nobody talks trash. If I'm wearing like a Julio jersey or when I used to wear or like back when Metcalf was on the Seahawks, people have opinions. But like you said, a forever jersey, I think anytime you could put Aaron Judge's name on a jersey with the last name on the back of the jersey, it's dope.
Uh-oh. Hold on, I messed up my screen here.
Well, we're doing this live here.
Yeah, no, sorry. I messed that. My view was all messed up. I mean, talk about a boring game that just kind of reminds you of how your team just ends up dying in the playoffs.
Yes.
It's just kind
It
of like, oh, we're just going to be one of these games where they had 3 hits and 3 walks.
Yeah, I mean, going in before the Bryce Harper inning, what they had, what, 2 singles? That's just
Yeah.
not going to do it. It did remind me of a vintage Mariners offense performance tonight. But you're right. You get into these playoff games after hammering the ball all year, and you get into these 2-1, these 5-4s, these 3-4-3s, and these 2-1s, and these 1-0 games. You're getting to see high leverage playoff baseball here early in March. And as much as I've poo-pooed the WBC and I don't like my players being there because I am a selfish Seattle Mariners fan, watching tonight's game and just the last couple of games, watching teams like Italy and, of course, Venezuela, I really did get pumped up and inspired for the 2026 season.
Yeah. I mean, wait, hold on. Didn't you guys have somebody hurt the other day?
Well, I think Julio got hit in the hand. That's
No,
what it was.
somebody else were like sliding or something like that, like, and they walked off the field. Was that not a Seattle Mariner?
I don't think so. I haven't heard about it, or I haven't paid enough attention
Okay.
here.
Somebody was like, and they walked him off the whole field.
Yeah, I don't believe that was a Mariner. I mean, Cal Raleigh, let's just start right there in the season. Let's talk a little Mariners on WBC. Wow, is it what I saw the meme? What was it? 0 for 9. What a couple of walks. It was just a bunch of zeros and then
handshakes
and 2 missed handshakes. I mean, even for somebody that had absolutely no impact on the series whatsoever, he probably had the biggest impact on the headlines till maybe tonight because of Venezuela winning and what's going on in Venezuela and what's going on between Venezuela and our government. Now that might take precedent, but up until that, it's been the handshake snub.
Well, to be honest, like now that you brought that up, this Team USA loss is really bad because of just kind of like the assholeness of the team now. Because even Judge said the other day, for no reason, Judge said the USA Mexico crowd was better than the World Series versus the Dodgers crowd that he was in. So he's got people up in arms about that. He was saying, everybody was kind of backing up Raleigh by saying, like, tomorrow I'm not even thinking about my teammates. It's about this. Meanwhile, all the Latin country players that make this tournament actually cool by going nuts and just being friends with everybody and messing with each other out there. And Team USA just took this like business type attitude. Today they all rolled up together wearing the USA men's hockey jerseys. Did you see that?
I did see clips of that online.
So they all this nice little publicity thing that only looks cool if you win. And now you lost.
Yeah.
And now it's like Raleigh was being an asshole for no reason. Judge, all these guys are just being like, just kind of like maybe that's why other countries hate us.
I mean, I got to admit, when Harper hit that home run, I was pretty upset because of how much I dislike Bryce Harper.
I don't know why you don't like him.
I mean, we don't have the time on this podcast of why I don't like Bryce Harper, but here's one
world. He was a national and then a Philly. He's a National League East.
He's just got a punchable face and a punchable attitude about him. I mean, I don't know. He just kind of reminds me of these Orange County pricks that are down here in Orange County, down here in Southern California, and their trucks and their glam country look and their, trust funding. What?
He got a hold of that pitch.
He did. But look, Eugenio Suarez, former Mariner, this if you were really going for the United States, really pulling for Team USA, and you were a diehard Mariners fan, this has got to be some
Did you
salt
see
in the
him after the
wounds.
game?
Oh yeah, I mean
He looks like that
everything.
Brazil statue of Jesus.
Yes,
That
his
was annoying me.
interview. Yeah, his interview. Everything that you see right there. I mean, it just and all the emotions that you're feeling. These were all the same things that we were feeling after what game 5 of the ALCS when he hit the granny. He had 2 home runs in that game, and I mean this is what Eugenio does in those big moments. 2 things about him, sure, that I really love about him. Before I get to that, sure, we know he strikes out. We know he's maybe becoming more of a DH or whatever. But again, the $15 million that Cincinnati is paying him is nothing, especially what the Mariners could have done with that. And listen,
Yeah,
I think they're going to be.
49 home runs last year.
I know, and everybody's just talking about how he finished the season, and he didn't really do much here. People are trying to play that off now, but it's like, okay, yeah, he had a slump for a month and a half, and as soon as you got to the playoffs, once he got going, he was good for you in those spots, and you see him again right here. And that guy is the 2 things I love about him. He's clutch. And he's got a nose for those RBIs, like a good running back has a nose for the end zone. This guy knocks balls in. I mean, if this guy
That was an
can
RBI,
play,
even if they didn't get that steal.
absolutely, he was shopping in the gap with that. And if this guy Eugenio Suarez, if he can put together, let's just say 4 or 5 really good seasons, decent seasons. We're talking somewhere around 30 home runs. 25, 30 home runs here. You could do that for 4 more years. I mean, you're talking about this guy possibly sneaking into the Hall of Fame at some point. Go look at his career home run stats for third baseman. He's up there.
I mean, that's what I was saying the whole time, even before I knew he could have been had for 15 million. I'm just saying, like, look, even in these big games, right? Like, it usually comes down to home, like, especially when there's no hitting going on. These teams are just up there trying to hit home runs, and you're just better off having guys that can hit home runs. And also at the course of the season, look at the guys like Teoscar Hernandez, all these guys. A lot of these good players disappear for points of time during the season. But at the end of the day, like, you want somebody in your lineup who could carry the offense single-handedly because there's going to be stretches where every single Mariner is done, even Raleigh. And all you need is, the Yankees get by on that all the time. The whole team's not hitting, and Judge is carrying them for 2 weeks. Stanton's carrying them for 2 weeks. Chisholm, or when you have a number of guys who could single-handedly, or you're not always hitting all the the whole lineup isn't always producing.
Yeah, and you're right. As far as the United States, you didn't really have that big. I mean, you did have a lot of power, but like in tonight's lineup,
they're all power.
Excuse me. Sorry. I meant to say, yes. You look at tonight's lineup and you have guys that they didn't have the power here in the last round. Yeah, in the next game. Excuse me.
I can't really knock them because it's like, that's the only frustrating thing about this tournament is like just for me being somebody who's actually invested in it this year. And the previous years, I jump on the bandwagon once it's in like the last couple games. The year that Puerto Rico was on fire, I was watching. And then last year I watched like maybe the last 2 USA games, but again, like my favorite player wasn't a part of it. So for, now this year I was actually locked in. But so you get invested, and then you have to remember, it's still spring training for these guys, but it still hurts. Like, it's not good for the Raleigh fans to know that he did absolutely nothing but make back page headlines for this series. Judge was hot at first, and now he's, it's like it's the middle of March, and there's guys throwing fucking nasty two-seamers, mid-season form two-seamers, nicking the corners, and it's going to be like, Judge struck out 3 times. Well, he struck
You're
out twice,
right.
really. And the first one was was not a strike, but it's also, it's kind of early to be up there facing that kind of junk, just nasty stuff. And, facing all of these, like that whole Venezuela bullpen, like these guys are all throwing fast junk.
Yeah, you had guys on that team like Smoltz and them were all talking about. Smoltz is also just such a negative guy too. But you had a lot of guys too that are looking for jobs that, that there's like way more job security on the US team versus the Venezuela team. So like you do have players that are playing for everything here. I mean, even look at the manager, man. I mean, that guy, I know there's a lot of restrictions and there's a lot of rules, but the way that they manage their bullpen, they were talking about it throughout this tournament, especially in the last 2 games against Italy, the hottest team that was going on that side of the bracket, and the United States, who was an absolute favorite in this game. When you saw Venezuela take out Japan, you were kind of looking at the Dominican Republic United States game as maybe this is the championship game, just like we looked in the NFL as the Rams and the Seahawks championship game.
You know what?
That wasn't the case.
I mean, I think now that we've actually watched a full tournament, there's things that that need to be put in perspective. For one, this is what makes it cool, but also a little hurtful, is these are 1-game playoffs. It's a tournament. So this isn't normal baseball, where there's no such thing as a 1-game playoff, like nowadays there is, for the wild
It's
cards.
more like it felt more like a high school setup.
Yeah, so it's just like, I mean, you're like, I don't care what team you're facing. There's going to be when a pitcher's going and he's got his good stuff going, he's always going to be better than everybody. I mean, look at, yesterday or the other day versus Dominican. I mean, that team has more power than the U.S. arguably. I mean, take your pick. There might be a little more inferior.
If you were going into the last round, or not last round, yes, the last round, and you're looking at the team Dominican Republic, United States, and whoever won that game and going over under on offense on all of those, you'd have lost both terribly. I mean, the amount of offense that these teams are putting up, 10 running people, and then just like the regular season where you're setting all kinds of offensive numbers, you get into the playoffs, it comes to a screeching halt. It comes to defense, pitching. Kind of reminds you of basketball a little bit, or similar to basketball, I should say, where it's possessions, everything slows back down, and you're getting, this chess game, especially with all the rules. But still, I don't understand some of the non-moves by Mark DeRosa, and I'm specifically talking about the position players. It seemed, and I'm biased here, but we talked about this in the last round when the United States lost to Italy. You brought this up. You got somebody sitting on the bench in both of the games that you lost that hit 60 home runs last year. Sure, he's having a terrible series.
Players. And he had his worst, like Goldschmidt. I mean, I don't think he was making any Bryce Harper moves. I mean, because this is basically the only good game. This is the only game that Bryce Harper had a hit, and he had 2 of them. So it was, but like your other first baseman's Goldschmidt. So like
I'm talking about
kind of tied there. But I mean, I would have been pitch hitting. I probably would have pinch hit for Bregman late. I would have pinch hit for maybe Anthony. I know they did some things, but it's like, let me just put the big guy up there for, maybe it makes somebody make a mistake a little bit more. I mean, he went with Gunnar Henderson there, who was the hero of our last win, but In the game they lost against Italy, I would have pinch hit for him just from how he looked the previous at bat. But I guess it's tough, man. You're taking out an all-star for an all-star. It's not like the normal season. Who are you going to pitch him for?
Well, I get
They
that.
all look like shit. I mean, the
They
whole,
all, yes, but I'm just going to looking at character, right? Like what Cal Raleigh does. I mean, if you watch the Mariners and you follow Cal Raleigh, you know that this guy can go in these 0 for 13, 0 for 14 slumps. I mean, that's why he's a 230 hitter a lot of the time. He just does this. But this guy has something about him with clutch and late in the game. And even on his days off, when he's supposed to get a day off, there's so many times he comes up and either hits a home run or rips a double, or he definitely puts, the pitchers on notice. He can go at you from either side of the plate. So when there was that, what? Huh?
Just shout out to whoever made that graphic with the 0 for 9, 2 walks, 2 missed handshakes.
Yes, we had that on our Instagram page. So also, yes, if you're checking this out for the first time, right there, Rye Bread and Mustard at Instagram. Also, X at RBNM Podcast. You can find us there. Also on TikTok. It is a great meme because it's just numbers it's all truth. It's all, yeah. The Seattle Mariners did not, I shouldn't say the Seattle Mariners did not, because Dom Canzone and Team Italy did some great things. But yes, it's going back to Cal Raleigh. Still would have pinch hit him in that situation. And if I'm Cal Raleigh, I would have loved a pinch situation to go, I got to get rid of that meme. I got to make that meme obsolete. No, he did nothing but cause controversy. And he's a guy who doesn't cause too much controversy. You just said, is there anything positive about what happened with Cal Raleigh's experience here in the WBC?
No. I was thinking about this podcast, and I was just thinking about how we were going into this whole tournament being like, Judge is there, Raleigh's there. I'm thinking they're going to be batting back to back. I'm just like, dude, this is over 100 home runs between the two of them. And then it ends with freaking Judge going 0 for 4. And Raleigh being benched for fucking 3 games straight and being absolutely nothing, making zero contribution to the run. Like that's not what you want.
No, he stole the headlines for the wrong reasons. I mean, yeah, I'm glad everybody's going back to camp. I'm actually headed to spring training in just a few hours for a couple days. And some people always go, oh, last week. I'm going to drive out there in the morning, early in the morning. I'm going to get there out there in Phoenix. I'm leaving here Peoria. I'm going to leave here about 3:34 in the morning from Los Angeles. So I'll be out there at the backfields checking out the practice, hopefully, if everything goes correctly.
Watch them tires.
Yeah. Well, as far as Venezuela's win, I mean, if there is a team it is a good story. Team Venezuela. I mean, they all have great stories, but this one, considering what's going on and just the particular players on the team, I mean, how do you not love Salvi Perez, Eugenio Suarez? You got this coach that I don't know if you heard. The manager, excuse me. Did you hear? Okay, he played in the minors. This is John Smoltz. He's explained. They're out there holding onto the trophy and crying and hugging one another, and they're talking about the manager's. Was this Lopez? What's his first name?
I missed it.
Okay, so John Smoltz is been tasked with, I guess, in his ear from the producers, probably going talk about his journey. His long journey here. Okay, yeah, he played in the minors. He wasn't any good. And then John Smoltz said that. He goes, he isn't any good. But this is a dude that, I mean, this is how great for his career. For a lot of these guys on this team. And also Venezuela.
Okay.
Venezuela, this is a big thing. since 1945 have not had a major international victory like this. Since 1945.
And they've had like some of the best players in the league for the last 25 years.
Yeah, I mean, Johan Santana was the pitching coach. I mean, you had Miguel Cabrera
Miguel
in tears
Cabrera.
there. Yeah.
Miguel Cabrera is one of the best hitters of our generation, hands down.
Yeah. Omar Vizquel, there's a bit of controversy surrounding him, but you can't deny what he was like as a shortstop in the field. I mean, that was somebody that didn't even need a glove.
I'm pissed that Gleyber Torres won. He sucks. I'm happy for Team Venezuela. I'm mad that Torres gets to celebrate.
Oh, so what was your favorite moment here of the whole WBC, you think?
When Judge was going off against teams that didn't matter, apparently.
Yeah.
Just because I like the extra attention nationwide on these guys, but like again, like then it just all ends up getting spoiled.
Yeah, I mean, I do like that they condensed it this year. It seemed like it went by a lot faster.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess maybe because we're actually paying attention. I mean, like, because I've been getting planning my days around these games, being home, be like, you know what, I'm not even gonna be watching half in the car. Like I'm eating dinner, exercise, whatever it is, and then like I've been sitting down like these are actual playoff games and sitting with the nerves of like this is the type of like nerves that you only get in October. So maybe that's why I kind of don't like it. But like when the other day when it was against the Dominican, like yeah, I'm sitting on the edge. I'm not liking the way the offense is looking. I'm walking it off. I love this shit, but I also hate this shit. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's interesting to me that now you just go back to spring training, but at least the teams are whole again. Where I do enjoy the WBC because they do place it when spring training is just dead. It's just that dead zone of like the excitement of everybody being back. And we're talking about, oh, look how much they worked out over the season. And you hear all the personal stories and everybody's talking about how much movement's on their fastballs. And oh my God, have you seen this guy in the cage? And that's all the stuff like I like as somebody that used to play baseball and understanding all of that work. But as far as a fan and as far as like what the goals are and as far as the podcast host, I don't care about any of that stuff.
It gets old quick, right? So this is like the shelf life of the baseball season. You can't wait for the season to start. So you get, well, first of all, let's go with the off season, right? Did your team improve? Did you get who you wanted? Did the teams you hate get any better? All right, now you're waiting for the pitchers and catchers. And now it's pitchers and catchers, and you're just waiting, hoping that nobody gets hurt. And maybe you check in on some games. I mean, it's just they're not even real games. The guys don't really even play the whole game, or they layer in who's starting when. So it's like the Yankees have already been playing, but Judge is not playing in a game until the second week of games. Stanton's doing God knows what when he's playing. And then, you check the box scores or the stories, but you're really just still looking for injuries, and you can't wait for the season to start. Then the season starts, and it's still not like this when you're like hoping, like, you hope your team wins. But, if you get a 3-game losing streak, that's part of, it's just part of the season, this new story that is the 2026 season. So it's like, we got, if you cared about this, you got a chance to experience playoff baseball, well earlier than you ever would, where guys are actually playing competitive and, gunning people down and hustling and, pitchers reaching in and throwing those nasty fucking damn two-seamers. I don't know how anybody hits a two-seamer, dude. There's like if you throw me a slider or a two-seamer, I can hit any other type of pitch, but a two-seamer, the way so.
Well, and especially when the strike zone started to get a little
Oh
crazy here in
God,
the last. You sat here on the last podcast, you and Hannah, sitting here
on my
drooling,
knees, giving it to the
just yeah,
before
on
because it
giving
was
it to the umpires and just being like, let's just get these robots and get them out of here. Look,
all
we
out the
got the
window.
right
They've been
people.
horrible. They've been horrible
I
ever
mean,
since.
I mean
Horrible.
that's that strike three to end the game for Dominican Republic on a superpower team like that. I mean, that wasn't even close. That
I'm
was
not
a
going to say though.
that was a routine take on a ball four. And in fact, when I saw the ball being caught, I already was like, fuck. I was thinking about who's on deck, what's going on. Boom, strike three. It was one of the most shocking things I'd seen. You got a class manager there, Albert Pujols, who hasn't made a huge stink about it because that's who Albert is.
No, they
He's a
did.
much better. He did, but not. He did it. He wasn't.
They didn't talk to the media after the game. The whole team.
But he could have bitched. He could have moaned. He knows.
The game's over. No, but they didn't talk to the media after, and the only quote that came later on was Soto said, "We proved that we're the best team."
I saw that.
In the world.
I thought Pujols did.
Try.
I thought. Hold on a second. I thought Pujols did have an interview, and
no, they didn't.
He moved around that.
Which is kind of still kind of kind of a bitch move in and of itself. I mean, look, let's be honest. If you're losing on a close pitch at the end of the game, you never lose a game in the last at bat. I know it's a close game, and I know anything can happen, and I know it happens all the time, especially in this game that we love. But when your season or whatever it is harps on an umpire's call at the end of the game, you lost the game 5 other places.
I agree that you shouldn't be standing there with the bat on your shoulder, but that looked like a routine take. That ball seemed like it was low, and I know they were trying to show Will Smith's framing job. It wasn't even a good framing job.
Well, they went from not biting on the frames to biting on every frame. And Will Smith's not even good at it. He does the thing that I hate the most. He catches it bouncing off the plate and brings it up to the middle. I mean, even like the Venezuela, McLean was striking people out the first 4 innings on pitches that weren't even, that weren't close enough, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait. Even with this ABS shit that we got to watch this year, I can't wait until we just do the robot umps.
Well, why can
specific to every player's size and all these things, and just what's the point? What's the point of ever having a bad call?
What's the point of having a tournament like this that's not Major League Baseball, that you don't have to get so many people to sign off on it? What is wrong with using all of the new experimental things that you're trying to get into baseball? Like, why can't you have ABS in there? Why can't you have maybe extra challenges or whatever? Anything that's kind of on the board for the season that's serious. That's seriously on the board. Even that silly hold on. Even that silly thing that they were talking about where you could insert any player at the bat. Remember they were trying to get something going last year that they immediately got taken out, but it was something where you can insert a player in an at bat at any time. And it's like, well, if you're going to do all those things, when you do them at spring training, and I understand they're experimental, nobody knows about it. Nobody sees it. And if you want to get it in a situation where, hey, how does it affect a game that matters with big stakes? Why not just do it in the WBC? That's something I hope they do in the next one.
Well, they'll have ABS. I mean, because it's still even too new. Like, I guess, I mean, I could see what they're saying. It's like we haven't even done it in the real league yet. So, I mean, there was teams that don't even know how to use a pitch clock. I don't know if you saw Brazil had 10 pitch clock violations in their first game.
I mean, that's old. That's like 3 years old now.
Maybe even more, right?
Yeah, and I mean, and if you're playing if you're playing with a major league affiliate, that's part of the practice. I mean, it was in the minor leagues before it was in the major leagues.
I mean, I don't even know why they're doing, but they're bothering with this ABS thing. Just go to the. I mean, why play around with the challenges?
I think it's just a strategy thing to go, but I just to just like the challenges where you're like you only have so many, but I get it. It's like
I'm not looking forward to it.
it's just because yeah, if you're wrong twice or whatever, you don't have anymore. You're wrong, whatever, but that doesn't mean that the umpire can't be wrong 10 more times after that. So
not to mention
that's kind of the tricky thing.
Like
yeah, exactly.
I mean, because I told my dad, I was like, I would say right out the gate, I'd be like, all right, team, Judge gets one, you guys get the rest of you get one collectively, and if Judge birds his, then he goes into your pool. But I know, like, for the season, I mean, for the preseason, Boone told everybody to feel free to try it out. But I'm like, every guy wants every call.
Yeah, and it's got to be certain situations too. So like those, and I'm with you. Like you can't defer to the bench, like a replay and go, can we look? Hold on a second. Put the hand up. You have to. It has to be a reaction, not too far after the pitch. So you're right. You have to have an entire team meeting of one guy Judge gets this. He's the captain. He's the star. He's proven that he's respected in the league. He knows enough about the games.
Out.
Yeah,
a third of his strikeouts are on calls that aren't there's this statistics that back up how many bad pitches are called strikes. He leads the league by 100 bad calls. I heard Michael K bring up the statistic the other day. I don't remember exactly what it is, but they have the numbers on everything. Under the
is that because of his size?
Yeah, I mean, people are always trying to pound sliders and stuff like that on the outside to him, and that's why when people are like, oh, he struck out 3 times, it's like, well, if somebody's throwing nasty stuff low, he's in a bad spot because he's so big, but he's still got a knee-jerk reaction to, should I take, or they're gonna burn me here? Like that Perdomo type pitch where it's like, he's taking a pitch because it was a ball, but Judge probably swings at that because they call that a strike on him half the time anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So just to wrap this up, what are the biggest takeaways here or storylines do you think that can follow players from the WBC into the season?
We'll see if it, because the fact that they've been playing competitive games, we'll see if there's a carryover. Like, does Judge go right into the season already been hitting and, after going cold the past 2 days, but, he's already had a couple good games, couple home runs. Does it even matter at all? Or is it now it's obviously it's a clean slate, but does this mean Raleigh's going to have a month-long slump because,
now
and
that's what I'm alluding.
But now
that's what I'm alluding to.
For 3 or 4 days. Are some of these pitchers a little more burned out? The starters, but they try to make it so that it's like the normal workload that the team wants them to get. So there's been a lot of communication there. But with some of the hitters and stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, I think Cal Raleigh's is probably the person that's going to get the most eyes.
He was the biggest bust of the tournament.
I mean, he didn't get to play every day. I will say that, but yeah, he, like we mentioned here a couple times, there wasn't anything really positive to talk about this. Maybe he had some positive experiences, loved playing for his country, loved playing with all the guys and being included in all that. But yeah, he had a rough go. And now to start the season, maybe you have a rough go like this in spring training. Nobody notices. Nobody talks about it. But when you have it on a national stage like this, and you did what you did last year, and you have a lot of doubters that you're going to be anywhere close to what you did last year as far as being a big impact in the league. He's definitely going into the season, I would think, with a chip on his shoulder and something to prove.
Well, I mean, the thing that when a player makes that huge jump into
Stardom.
superstar, you don't he's not going to catch anybody by surprise from day one. Whereas trust me,
Yeah.
I know that people are always, every time they play the Mariners for the past 3 years, they're like, all right, we got to be careful with this guy. Now they're basing their whole strategy pitching around pitching around you from day one. So
Yeah.
that's what he's got to be worried about.
I mean, Cal Raleigh, in his defense, this isn't like his. Of course, that was a historic season. This wasn't his first season. He was right on the cusp of always being an all-star, the first or second best catcher in the league, in the AL at least. Had a huge jump last year. He's in the prime of his career. You cannot doubt the leadership and what he does behind the plate and how he handles the staff. Where he's going to be offensively is definitely going to be the storyline, which it already was. But then when you add what happened here in the WBC, I think you brought more people into the conversation that are going to be following this. And yeah, there's probably some pressure right there, but I think Cal handles pressure very well. He has a real slow heartbeat. I don't understand why he wasn't used in pinch hit situations in both of the USA losses. To have that guy on the bench, and again, I mentioned this at the top of the pod, and I'll keep mentioning this anytime we're talking about it. This is what this guy does. He's clutch. I would love to see what his batting average is off the bench. I'd love to see what his slugging is when he comes off the bench. He doesn't have a ton of off the bench at bats. He's probably got less than 150 in his career, but I guarantee you his slugging is very high in it.
I guess at this point, the only thing I'd be worried about is that, but they still have a week. But the good news is you guys don't really have any difference in your pitching staff. So because now he hasn't been catching these guys basically all of spring training, and getting in a rhythm. But like you said, he plays every day. He knows all these guys in and out. It shouldn't take him long to learn what new pitch they're working on or whatever. It's not that huge of a deal, but that would be my only concern. But where Judge could just slide right back into the Yankee thing with no issues. The catchers have a huge, gigantic workload.
And we're back.
Did you hear me?
No. Did you hear me?
No, you were froze there. No, I
just said he's been catching this. Sorry, I said he's been catching these guys for years, so I'm not so concerned about that.
It should be all right. But now we got the real season to look forward to, and then we could go back to just watching games from a more relaxed state, as opposed to when the team goes 0 for has a 2-hit game. It sucks, but it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see Randy and Cal in the Mariners clubhouse or out on the backfields. I mean, since we've talked about all that, nothing's been said more on Cal Raleigh. It seems like he wants the story to go away, obviously, when you match that as a performance, for sure. And Randy Rosarena had a statement that was put out, but he's not said anything about it. So
now that it's over, though, now this is the bad parts about the WBC, because now Judge has to go back to New York, field all the questions about the USA losing to Venezuela, going fucking 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, and deal with the negative side of the New York press and just using it against them. Raleigh's got to go back and pretend to play nice with Rosarena. I'm sure they'll do a whole little thing, but all these, now that just the storylines are being on the losing side of it, it's almost not worth going. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be a sore loser now. So
yeah, and I feel like too for the United States, if they won this game, it's great. It's another thing. We just had the Olympics. We just had the hockey thing. This would have just been another thing for Venezuela winning this. This was everything.
huge.
So you got to be happy for them.
For sure. I mean, I would. I mean, but I would be happier for for Judge and Raleigh and all these guys for them to get. I mean, that's why they're there. I mean, but all in all, it was a good showing for USA, regardless, because now everybody's actually showing up. And like this is only going to be bigger next year. In the next
In
term.
3 years.
Yeah.
In 3 years, and I how I felt though, like again, I don't get so emotionally attached to the WBC, but I felt when Otani struck out Trout in the one before, that was a damn. Japan wins again. You look at those teams and you kind of expect that, and they usually steal the headlines with the players that they got, and they usually field the next big things. Where Venezuela, this was just such a gutty performance, and again going on with what's going on back in their country, and you hear the stories about certain family members that could make it, that couldn't. They all have these stories that now we're going to hear more and more about them. So I can't be any happier for Eugenio Suarez, Salvi Perez, all the guys in
Acuna was
Venezuela.
crying in the
Acuna.
field yesterday.
Yeah.
Before the game was even over.
Yeah, and nobody was really talking about Venezuela at all until they took out New York. I mean, they kind of just quietly crept up into the championship, and they take it home. Excuse me. Until they what am I talking about? Until they got down to Miami and took out Japan.
Yeah.
They took out New York. My bad. Well, hopefully the Mariners will be taking out New York here in a couple of weeks. We're going to be up there in Seattle, probably your next week of being on the show more than you want to be. We'll definitely be doing a pregame recording hangout at Tacos and Tequila, just like we mentioned earlier on the Tuesday game. Meet and greet, free meet and greet. Well, it's not free. Vlad will have a QR code sitting on the table if you want to speak to him. We'll be at Tacos and Tequila. That's going to be March 31st, pregame. Postgame on Game 3, still TBD. Maybe somewhere down there we'll get those kind of details, but definitely want to see some people, definitely have a little bit of swag with us. As far as any other house clean, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, I got to get used to saying this, but we're happy to be here on the Believe Network. There are partners here for the 2026 seasons. There's all kinds of things on the Believe Network. You can catch Rye Bread and Mustard on there, as well as the rest of the shows that I mentioned, or anywhere that you get your podcast. And again, hit us up on those socials. We'll follow you back. Hey, now we can get back to regular baseball. I don't think there's that Japan series because of the WBC. I don't know what's more disruptive, that or the WBC. Either when you go from a real competition back to practice. Anyways, we got about a week, and we'll be kicking off the MLB season, and we'll be back here for all the series reviews plus one episodes. What I'm trying to say is, it'll be about 3 episodes, maybe 4 or 5, the way we split them up on Believe this season. If you're wondering why we haven't done a lot of stuff lately, it's just because, listen, we don't really care about the off season once we get out of the hot stove. It's just not our thing here on the Rye Bread and Mustard and Mariners podcast. But we'll be here all season long consistently, whether I lose my computer or I don't. We're doing this off my phone tonight because of that reason. Any last words, Vlad, before we get out of here?
Let the games begin.